Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to ATI ProMedia. We are powered by advanced trading. I don't even know where to start. Well, there's my phone ringing. There we go. There we go. We long-time listener, first-time caller giving us a call right here on the studio live.
Hey,
I
get
love
him a
it.
flag, Tommy. Get him a
Get him a
flag.
flag. I love how Rick bails me out. It's like, just bring Connor in. All right, go ahead, my friend. The headlines. You helped build the show today. What's going on?
Yeah. Number one, our commodity markets are moving. We saw great price action yesterday in corn, soybeans, and wheat, and decent follow through today, pulling back a little bit from the highs as I'm talking, but we still got July corn up 6, D's corn up 5. July beans up 15, above $12. Feels great. November beans knocking on the door, $12, $11.98, and then we've got July wheat up 22. So good price action. And then outside markets, we had a lot of movement as well, right? We had payroll numbers, unemployment rate little higher than the trade was expecting. Rivian, right? We talk a lot about Rivian, got some headlines there that I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that. But anyway, and then also down south, we've got a lot of stuff moving with Argentina, South America, Russia, right? Looking at the Russia wheat crop. So we've got weather markets all over the world, and the markets are responding accordingly, Tommy.
Mm-hmm. That was a nice call. I want to read you what my friend said, because I don't know if he thought I could take a call and do this at the same time, but I appreciate it. Just wanted to share with you that I took a trip yesterday and through the heart of our state, and there's hardly any corn in the ground because everything is waterlogged. That is from central and southwestern North Dakota. Okay, markets are moving, like you said, corn up, beans up, wheat up. Let's take it back to yesterday, right about 1:20 in the afternoon. Argentina said corn crop, little smaller, bugs, eat it all. Um, and you know, this is why, folks, when things look the most bearish and everyone's bearish, one of the things we said when we started ATI Pro Media was we know all the news. Like, we know the farmer's long. We know there's a crop in South America. We know this. We know that. We know so many things. And we knew all that at the low, yet we stayed down there a long time. Now we're coming out of that. And the big buzz, as you said, is at the corn market. And I had to adjust our charts real quick before we started. We always have the 20-day and the 50. I had to make the 50 to 100. So, folks, when you see the green line in a little bit, when Connor and I are talking, the green is now the 100 on an emergency move before the show started. Should we talk about outsides a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Yesterday, Apple came out with earnings. People were nervous. There's been some volatility in the tech stocks. There's been still, it's noticeable that China's slowing. Apple knocked it out of the park. Apple bought back, folks, listen to me, this is a big deal. Apple has so much money, they're going to buy back $110 billion worth of their stock. So if the American farmer produces 15 billion bushels of corn times $5 cash, right? Way more than that. So it's like Apple's like, we're going to buy back all the American corn crop and all the American wheat crop, like a big number like that, 110 billion. When we talk about markets, you talk about the bond market, you talk about the stock market. We get excited because we're commodity traders and we love talking about the commodities, but there's a way bigger picture out there, and there is money flowing around like we've never seen. So I thought the stock market was kind of close to all-time highs. That's not true. I looked at some charts. The S&P is trading like 5150 and its high was 5350. So we're still a ways away from their Dow around 40,000. We're at like 38.8 or something like that. But money into Apple. Apple did well. They said, you know what? We're going to buy back our stock. Wild times. Then this morning, we had non-farm payrolls.
Yep.
We started off the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, everything high from adjusting to Apple's earnings. Blew it out of the water. But this is weird. This is where it gets weird, and we need that teaching moment. We didn't create as many jobs as we thought, so the stock market exploded. Do you understand that, Connor?
A little bit. Walk me through it, though.
Well, I can't say that I always understand it because I watched him arguing on CNBC. And Rick Santelli said, and I quote, if you're happy about this jobs number, you don't love America. And he said it to a Harvard professor. And a Harvard professor then said something. Then Joe Kernan said, do you guys really at Harvard love America? Which was funny, meaning like towards their protests and taking down flags and everything else. So a little inside baseball there. Rick Santelli said, if you like this jobs number, you don't love America. Harvard professor knows everything about everything because he's at Harvard. He then Joe Kernan picked him up and slammed him about their political stuff. Anyway, we're not creating as many jobs, which means the economy is not so hot, which means the Fed then can lower rates. If the Fed lowers rates, the stock market can rally. One other tidbit: we have an election. That's not a secret, but it's like 185 days away, and the market. This is wild. The stock market typically rallies really well. Of the summer months during election years, every 4 years, the stock market typically trades up. Something to remember. If you're like, why are stocks up? Why are stocks up? Stock market typically rallies during election during the summer. What else do you have, Connor?
I don't know. You mentioned farm payrolls, but then unemployment rate was also slight 3.9% versus 3.8% expected. That's another thing that probably fueled this stock market, right? A little bit higher than they were looking for.
Yeah. Tell me about Rivian. That's right down the street from you. What are they doing? Did they get a little bailout yesterday? What happened there?
It looks like it. This was news. I saw this headline. I'm like, okay, great. So Rivian gets 827 million boosts from Illinois to expand its factory in the state. So sounds great. We know what that stock price is doing, but looks like the state of Illinois thinks it's a good buy. So they're expanding the factory, and I believe it's in. So that's in Bloomington, Illinois, right? That's in Advanced Trading's headquarters as well, Tommy.
If you could hit a golf ball about 3 times really far, you could hit about
I can't.
3,000 trucks sitting in the State Farm parking lot. All right, I do not want Rivian to do poorly. I want Rivian to do well. I want jobs to be
Sure.
created in America. The electric vehicle thing's happening, maybe not as fast as we all think. To give you an analogy, usually the first person who buys the restaurant leases the space and puts all new equipment and thinks it's going to be the best thing. They usually go broke. Then someone buys that stuff for pennies on the dollar. They usually make it. If not, the third person knocks it out of the park. If you can buy a restaurant on the second, then third turnover of buying everything cheap, the guy who's leasing the building's like, here, just take it. Just try to make this business work. That's what happens a lot, folks. And Rivian's no different. So to come clear land in central Illinois, build a plant, do this, do that, you're competing against Tesla. The guy's literally, no pun intended, light years ahead of the industry. People are trying to catch up. Rivian's best thing they have going for them is probably making those Amazon trucks. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, Other thing we're looking at. Should we move to grains? We got anything other
I want to
outside
talk meats
markets?
real quick. We made it.
Let's do it.
Brady's sitting in the back. He's got a like Led Zeppelin T-shirt on or something. But it's better than Joe's hemp T-shirt he wears some days. We never pop him on when he has that on. But heck, if you're watching in like 35 states, it's legal. We made it through the week with cattle being okay, and we could look at a few charts like that. The cattle markets had incredible volatility, a lot of nerves. I talked to a friend. I said, "What do you think people are thinking?" He said, people got really scared, the packers and stuff, and they said, what if all this meat tests positive? We're going to go to it's going to get ugly. And that didn't happen. And that was your risk. And when we talk about risk and risk management, these weird things that are happening, which I bet you there's people out there who think I'm upset that grains are rallying. I couldn't be happier grains are rallying, but your risk is still we go down. So I'm seeing people layer in today to some selling 25Ds and stuff like that. And you're risking cattle, even though that test came out negative for the beef supply, your risk is that they go down. We celebrate up days, but we don't want to be sad on down days. And I think that's the whole advanced trading philosophy pretty much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Defend against the risk, right? Risk is lower prices. When we pop higher, we've got that upside open. Absolutely, Tommy.
Absolutely.
And
All right.
so kicking over premium, right? You tell us what premium you did yesterday. Today, right? This leads in. We've got Cesar Cruz is going to give us an update on South America because you and I we're going to talk a lot about this. It's wet. Markets are rallying. How much do we have planning in the United States? We got to pay attention. As you said, Argentina, right? They cut their crop estimate yeah, 3 million metric ton, right? Between leaf hopper and the temperature. That's a big one, right? And then I saw another right after that headline, I saw that the cold weather in Argentina might curb that leaf hoppers disease. So talking out both sides of my mouth there. But then the other thing, Cesar Cruz, he can tell us a lot more about it. But when we look at Brazil, right, we got that southern part of Brazil getting tons of rain, Tommy. And then also the other thing I'm seeing in the Mato Grosso region, we know Brazil has a dry period. We know it's coming every year. Right now, it's coming a little bit earlier than previous years, right? So I want to know, and I can't wait for Dr. Cruz to tell us about it. Is it coming way earlier? What can we expect? What are his opinions on how that safrinha corn crop can finish? So we need to be paying attention to South America, right? Potential for a big safrinha corn crop, but we'll see, right? We still have to get there.
And that will be today's premium. So if you're not a subscriber, you want to subscribe. If you subscribe today or subscribe last few days, we'll get that out to you. Subscribe last few days, you're getting it. Anyone who wants to see that, give us a call. This was today's premium. Keep that up there for a little bit, Rick. Kurt Struber, he's at Advanced Trading Corporate, one of our larger commercial brokers. We really broke down what's happening out in the cash market, what's happening in the Mississippi River. We talked about a few other things that he's had on his plate, kind of like Kurt. What's your day like as someone who works with several of the largest grain elevators in America? Folks, if you're out there and you have a grain bin, whether you have a grain bin that holds 10,000 bushels or a grain bin that holds 1.2 million bushels, this is something you need to know. This is how the advanced trading commercial side, this is how these gentlemen think. And I don't think there's anyone better in the business than our commercial department, advanced trading. So Kurt Struber today, this afternoon, Connor Bridgman and Cesar, Dr. Cesar. And boy, he's probably going to, you make him film it twice and make him say both languages, right? And
He could do it. He could do
I
it.
know.
He speaks better English than I do.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. All right, should we bring in the charts?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. You said, Tommy, pop up the 100-day moving average. Folks, today the green line is the 100-day moving average. The 25, we are solidly above. Talk about this. What's this mean to you when we have this up there?
So we're looking at July corn, and you can see, look at this nice pop we've seen the past couple days. And so the big talk is you go back, look at the last time we were above that 100-day moving average. We got to go back to middle of October of 2023, right? So that's, what is that, Tommy? Is that 200 days ago?
Don't I got my shoes off and everything else off. Don't make me do the math. Come on, I didn't know there was going to be a test a long time ago.
Yeah, a good and you can also, the other thing that sticks out to me is we go back to March of 24, the lull we were in, right? The markets were very much range bound, but the one thing to keep in mind is we're not looking at in a 30, 60-day window. We're going to break out of the range. And so that's what we're seeing right now. And as we're talking, we're off the highs a little bit, but corn's still hanging well above that 100-day moving average. So we'll see where that closes today, and hopefully we have some good follow through.
Yeah. Want to break down the bean chart? There's some great things happening there also.
Yeah, pull it up.
Yes, sir. These are all dailies, folks. These are dailies. Oh, look at that. What do we have? Little surprise there on the beans. Almost there. Not quite there.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
I got to think we're going to hit resistance at that. Well, definitely the 100-day, but it looks like you go back to end of March, right at that 12. What is that? 12:15, Tommy?
Oh, you're asking such hard questions. Let's say this. Let's say it this way. I think if we are blessed enough to get to that 100-day moving average, that is an actionable level. Sell old crop, protect old crop. If you're one of those guys who has to deliver it to a crushing plant many months from now, your risk is still, it goes down. Just because we went up here doesn't mean we're going to stay there. We did this 6 weeks ago. Remember, we had the 40, 50-cent rally in 48 hours and then lost a lot of it. Today, the markets aren't closed yet. I want to check on Nove and see what that looks like. Yep. We are above it. Let me get rid of this line. Okay, this is probably what has people excited. We are above the 100 in the Nove. That's interesting that the front month is lagging the back, that the back took the premium. Couple thoughts here. If we're having planting delays in America in corn, doesn't that mean we'd plant a lot more beans on the backside? That's possible, right?
Absolutely. That was the common conversation. Write it down, Chuck. Every time I talk about 2019, it's like when it gets hot and dry, and you mentioned 2012. But that was the conversation. Is, oh my gosh, the corn crop is going to drop dramatically. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy, but we still planted a decent amount of corn acres in 2019. But yes, that's absolutely true. And I don't know about you, Tommy, but when I look, it's May 3rd. We are wet. In my area, right? The forecast next week, it's wet. I think we've got a chance of rain every day for the next week. But when I look at this, the market's rallying, right? Maybe it's a little bit of short covering, a little bit delayed planning. We'll see Monday where we're going to be at. But I look at it as opportunity. You talked about actionable alerts, looking at old crop, right? Let's take advantage of some opportunities the market's giving us, right? We don't know what the weather is going to be for the next 3 months. Maybe we stay delayed planning and we can sustain a bigger rally. But let's make sure we're putting a plan in place and taking advantage of these opportunities.
Yeah, let's review one more time. What are the bullish scenarios? Bugs eating the crop in Argentina, too much rain in Brazil, weather problems in America, weather problems in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Where else do we have a weather problem? South
I
America,
I would say
Russia.
dry. I would say a wet in southern Brazil, a little bit dry in Mato Grosso North. That's the other a little bit dry in parts of Brazil as well.
But wait, there's more. The funds are short. The wood is there. It's dry. Someone right now spraying little, use lighter fluid, folks. Don't use gas. The match may have been lit. Can it continue to burn nicely up here, or is this that big rally that we told everyone? Hey, be in a position. If we rally in the spring, you can you can sell your whole crop for 40 cents less than you could have got at harvest, and you paid interest on it. I mean, that's what's happening, right? Brady talked last week that people who stored and ignored lost 80 cents. That 80-cent loss is now 60 or 55. That 80-cent loss in beans is maybe 40, but you're still not doing as well as if that product was moved. If we continue to go into mega market, that would be interesting. If the funds went from short to neutral to long and it continued to rain, I'm not going to bet against the American farmer. I am not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I'll tell you who taught me this. Long before I worked at Advanced Trading, I had the pleasure of sitting next to Mark Gold at Top Third. But before he was at Top Third, he was at Iowa Grain. Interesting story how he left Iowa Grain, but we'll save that for premium content. Anyway, my friend Mark Gold said, never, ever, ever, ever bet against the American farmer. And this is why. They have some really neat equipment. So in the old days, they had equipment like this, right? That's not what they have anymore, boys and girls. Bring in the big stuff. They have the big, big stuff. This is what the American farmer has now. And I'm not going to bet against John Deere. I'm not going to bet against Red Bull. That's who sponsors staying up all night. I'm not going to bet against the American farmer and their ability to plant a crop. It did not work out well for people in 2019. If you think you're not getting it in, there's things we could do. What could we do, Connor, if we're not getting it in and you have sales and you're nervous?
If we have sales and we're worried about the price going higher, very simple. Let's get some insurance on that via calls. We'll be ready to participate in a market rally. Okay. The worst thing now again, right? Check it. We're talking 2019, but I remember the conversation I was at the elevator. Is people were buying. It was late May. It was probably the middle of June actually, and they were talking about buying their sales back. Right? They were 10% sold, but this market's going higher, so let's buy our sales back. That is absolutely. I don't even if this price goes to $8 and you were right, that's not a good marketing plan year in year out, right? We made those sales for a reason. If we want to protect them, let's do it via calls. But buying back sales in the middle of summer, usually it's a losing scenario, Tommy.
Yep, and there's always every growing season. There's some nervousness. Any other charts we should look at? Let's look at the meats are lower. That's
Yeah.
fine. I'm gonna go to Dow Jones one day, and I'm gonna hit active Dow Jones. This is Dow Jones futures. We are above the 100-day moving average. We're trending up. We are above the 20. The Dow Jones really did a great job of holding this level. Some scaries there. One, two, three scaries down there at that 37,900. Call it 3,800 for easy math. And now we're going up to 39,000. If you didn't know, if you only checked your portfolio once a month or once a quarter, that's why these people, famous quote from so many people, it's even in the movie, the original movie Wall Street, when Gordon Gekko's in the changing room with Bud Fox at the health club. He goes, "Hey, buddy boy, you know why the average portfolio manager can't beat the S&P 500?" Now, in Gordon Gekko's case, he had inside information, right? But the point was, ever since the movie Wall Street came out in 1987, 3 months before the great stock crash, it is extremely hard to beat the returns of the S&P 500. But if you're looking at it day in and day out and by the minute and the second, you're going to get rattled. Same thing with your hedging account. If you're a hedger, be a hedger. If you're not a hedger, don't be a hedger. We have some great comments where Rick will bring those up in a few minutes. So the Dow Jones was up 550. I want to show you the volatility of that, folks. We're going to break it down to a 10-minute chart. This is what happens when the high frequency computers, the Dow Jones, this blip up was on Apple yesterday afternoon. Then this is the overnight. That's big nothing burger. A lot of Asia and some other parts of the world were closed. This is up to 500, down up to 550, giving it back. I'd say some people who like to make money are taking profits here on this stock market. NASDAQ market, absolutely on fire. Look at this, nothing all night. NASDAQ was weak yesterday, nervous about Apple, did okay, exploded higher. Watch if we get here. This is a 10-minute chart, folks. Watch if we take out where we started before the unemployment number. That could get interesting. All right, let's bring in questions, comments. Rick, real quick. It's Friday. I'm excited. I want to give away some flags. Run the video about ATI ProMedia. Run that little 15-second video. Would you, when you find that, Rick? I'm excited about it. Welcome to ATI ProMedia, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today. That's awesome. You know what my favorite part of that video is? Brady on that tractor when we were down at Commodity Classic. Rick, bring him in. I want people to see what Brady looks like. You know, we're doing the show. You see Connor and I. There are 3 people that look. That's Brady without makeup, with a hat backwards, with a t-shirt that probably has holes in it. All right, get him out of there. Hi, Brady. Bye, Brady. Brady is always.
You didn't even let him talk, Tommy.
That is nothing new for this show.
Yeah, what's
all right,
new
bye,
there?
Brady. All right, we'll see you. He's speechless. Poor
He's
guy.
speechless.
Stage fright. It must be hard doing a show with me. You want to talk about that a little bit? What is it like to work with me?
Am I good to talk? I was going to say, am I good to talk? I was ready for another Tommy monologue. But
no.
Tommy, you're great to work. Are you high energy? Do I know what you're going to say? Absolutely not, right? Some people think, oh, we plan the show. You know, Tommy's going to come up with, he's going to say something off the wall, and they're ready for it. We're just as surprised as everyone else. I have no idea what he's going to talk about. So it's great, right? When you learn that, hey, he's going to be everywhere. He's going to go on monologues. Other than that, love working with you. I love doing this.
Well, thank you. Now, thank you very much. I've had the opportunity. I got up early, started looking at the markets. I personally traded gold today, Bitcoin, S&Ps, all the grains. Some things I did well, some things I didn't do well. We'll see where the markets close. So to be continued, life of a trader. But I love helping people manage risk. And working with Tommy equals hurting butterflies. Oh my God. Rick, you're supposed to have a little discretion of what comments you pick up. All right, real quick, folks. It's Friday. I'm in a good mood. I'll be in a better mood if the Dow Jones closes lower on the day. I love hedging these levels. If you're a hedger, whether you work with advanced trading or some other place, you do what's best for your farm. And if you feel these are good levels, say you're scared to hedge 24, move out to 25. We still have too much grain. We're going to have too much grain for a long time. I'm scared as heck. I'm getting nothing planted. All right, put a block out there of 25% hedges in 25. Very seldom. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, D's 25, 495, Tommy. Good level when you're talking about looking at a 25.
Good level today, right?
Good
Rewind the show in a year, maybe a great level, maybe a bad level.
Well said.
Ooh, a lot of bullish things would have to happen to have a $556 D's 25, but it can happen because I'm sure if you look, there's such a thing as a D's 25 $6 call, and they have a value. Okay, it's Friday. We're going to get in the comments. If you out there in internet land, thanks for watching on X, LinkedIn, YouTube. We just crossed 10,000 subscribers. Love for you to click subscribe to Advanced Trading on YouTube. Hit notify. You'll get a notification when we go live or when we release new content, releasing a lot of content. If you're interested in premium, today we will send you a flag. Subscribe today. We will send you an American flag. If you love America, even if you're not getting your crop in the ground, subscribe to ATI ProMedia, $1 a day. If you're struggling and you don't have the dollar, call me. I'll give you the dollar. All right. I got a feeling a lot of you aren't struggling. This is why. With the stock market being up as much as it is, land prices are going to continue to at least do okay. They may come down, but if interest rates start to come down, poof, you might see this housing market pop. You might see land prices. When I say land prices are going to do okay, that means go down a little or just maintain. I do not see a big explosion, but you never know what people's taste and appetite is for risk. Let's get into questions. Yep. And I want to say something to you. May the 4th be with you tomorrow. We won't be here, but may the 4th be with you.
Star Wars Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Buckeye Farm Boy. Love the bullish news. My store to ignore marketing plan beginning to get some traction. Love to see it.
You showed them. You showed them, Buckeye Farm Boy. Your banker loves you. And bankers in general. Oh, here it comes.
And I would say to your other question, we're not store and ignore marketers. That's not what we preach. But guess what we love is we love higher prices. We love seeing this rally. So great to see Buckeye Farm Boy. 90% beans planted, 35% corn planted for me. Wow. I'm going to take a wild guess and say you're in Ohio, Buckeye Farm Boy. So good progress, right? I don't know what the forecast is in Ohio. You might know, Tommy, but that's a
Little
good
squishy,
May.
little squishy.
Well, May 3rd, that's a good place to be in. So good deal, Buckeye Farm Boy.
Buckeye, if you're out there, let us know what part of Ohio, because it's very important. And how are your cash markets? Because part of Ohio has problems with the cash market, especially up by me on west. Luke's out traveling. The beatings continue in cotton. I do not have. I will get it. Sometimes I pay for ice quotes. Sometimes I don't. It aggravates me to pay for them. But as a professional, we have to pay for professional for all these quotes, and I'll have to get ice back.
I got cotton up, Luke.
Talk to me. I got a comment. I'll read it. Buckeye Farmer Boy, Southern Ohio. All right, Buckeye. Thank you. Not far from Kentucky, I'm thinking. My man.
It's not much. 78. I can't remember. Remind me, Luke, where we started beginning of the year. I think we. What was the high on cotton, Tommy? Was it?
Well, the front months went way higher than the back. So the fronts, I believe, got through 100, not for long. Maybe I'm totally making this up. I want to say 103, and then they came down pretty hard. We only stayed up there for a few days. The backs never rallied. So if you need to be a hedger of SEP or D's cotton, those weren't rallying like the fronts. And I never was quite sure why they were rallying. We still have more time because I'm just having fun. Cocoa down 35-40% on the week. Guys, futures and options have risk. Don't get involved in these kooky things unless you can keep sending the checks, right? I mean, if you're going to sell cocoa, I don't know why you're going to hedge cocoa against your corn, but whatever. I had a client call me, he wanted to sell cocoa. I said, I don't need the money that bad. Like, I am not selling you a cocoa, making commission off you, and listening to you complain for the next 2 weeks when this goes against you. And if it goes your way, then I got to hear how smart you are. It ain't worth it, folks. It ain't worth it. I don't want it. Advanced trading is a corn, bean, wheat, hog, cattle. I can hedge interest rates. Joe Haroon and I have worked on some interest rate projects before. All the brokers can do it. They just need to partner with a broker who can help. We can hedge other things. I've hedged people very aggressively in crude oil, natural gas, heating oil. There's things we can do. We can do canola. We can use soybean oil against your canola, things like that. We can get creative. I don't want the cocoa, Connor. I'm serious. If someone called me today and said I want to sell S&P 500, I'm like, call Chuck Schwab. He's your guy. It ain't me.
I'm going to be honest with you. You can keep the canola too, Tommy.
Canola's fun. Here's the deal. We'll do a special about it because I don't want to give away all our secrets. But hedging canola is extremely simple against other like things, and that's the easiest way, in my opinion, to do it. Go ahead, Farmer Brett. Pop it up one more time, Rick. I'm a slow reader. Apple is doing 100 billion buybacks. Buffett is so rich. Farmer Brett, where were you? That was like 10, 15 minutes ago conversation. You have to rewind the tape. Hey, as we're speaking, if we keep speaking long enough, grains are going to be lower. Let's give them a little market quote. Got a lot of people watching today. We're getting up to 210. Some of you watching, my mom and dad said, I only saw 40 people watching on YouTube. We can see the master total. They're coming from X. They're coming from all over. I'm not going to stop talking until we get up to 200, 225. Let's give away a flag. It's Friday. I'm in a good mood. I love America. First 2 people to call. Don't even have to subscribe to ATI ProMedia. Call 1-855-737-FARM. Talk to Gina, Joe. We'll send you a flag. If you need money, I'll send it to you if you need the money to subscribe. D's cotton, 85 cents on 228.
Thanks,
now
Brady.
76. July cotton, 102. I said 103. Thank you, Brady. Now the high 78. Whew, that's a little pullback. We got a little selling in IL2 over there on that. Interesting.
Need the
Interesting.
corn ETF to do some buybacks. We might be seeing it, Brett. That's what do we call a short covering rally, if not some buying back? So,
yeah. Any other questions, comments? Nathan, how do we buy stock in this show? Nathan, $1 a day will get you all the stock you need. We got cups, we got hats, we got. Thanks. That's a nice compliment, my friend. All right. With that, last chance. Questions, comments. Hit us up. We're here. And we'd love a couple more questions or comments. It's Friday. A lot of things. Let's take it from the top. Connor B. What happened in grains? Why is it happening? What happened in meats? What's happening in the outside markets? What does someone need to think about this weekend when they're in the planter or watching the weather, wondering when they're going to get in the planter? when they watch this show on Rewind. Stage is
So
yours,
we
sir.
saw yesterday, I'll start with grains. Yesterday, we saw a nice rally. I'm going to say it led with soybeans. The soy complex really was the charge. They were up big. And then we have a good follow through today, right? The big story I'm seeing is we got July corn breaking through that 100-day moving average for the first time in about 200, right? Since October. We can't do the math on the show because we're wearing shoes, but since October, we've seen that good rally. And then we've got wheat working higher as well. So we talked about weather markets in the United States, in Russia, in Brazil, in Argentina, right? We've got delayed planning. We're not sure how long that's going to progress, right? A lot of rain in the forecast, not a lot being done. They'll tell us Monday how we're still progressing. Remember, last Monday, we're ahead of the 5-year average. So it's going to be very interesting to me to see, right, how much did we lag behind planning pace according to the 5-year average. And so we're seeing that. We're seeing a nice rally accordingly, right? And so now my question is going to be, how is it going to follow through today and then through the weekend? Because we're pulling back slightly, right? I hate to call it a pullback. Corn's still up 5. We'll take it. Beans still up 9, right about 6. July beans are about 6 cents off the high. And then we've still got wheat. July wheat up 23. Good price for Chicago wheat that we're looking at. And so then, Tommy, you go cattle, and then we can wrap it up on outside markets. Get out of here.
Cattle got through what could have been a disaster. We're happy about that. Risk is still to the downside. They're going to have some more headwinds over there, whether it could be demand, weather, everything else. Cattle made it through a tough week. Outside markets, absolutely on fire. Bond market, interest rates, folks, are still relatively high, almost on the high of the year. Stock market celebrating because less Americans are working. You go think about that, say that twice, and it's interesting that the world wants the stock market to go up and the world wants the commodity markets to go down. If you don't understand, give us a call and we'll bring it to you on the phones. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. Bring Connor in. Connor, great job. Brady, Joe, Rick, everyone who helps us, big thank you. Before we leave, 10,000 subscribers. Brady Huck, pretty excited about that. Tommy Grisafi, Valparaiso, Indiana. Connor B, Assumption, Illinois. We will see you all Monday. See you, buddy.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.